Hi everyone, welcome back. I have stocked the gin up. I've just noticed, get down with the Geater, drinking gin. Right, we are going to wait for another very important aspect of any show, which is the musical director. And hopefully, if I do this correctly, go, I can add Mr. Mike Steele, who was our musical director on Joseph.
Yeah, that works.
Hello!
Hi, Andrew.
How are you doing?
I'm good. It's nice to see you.
I feel like I have to be all like proper because you're like my boss.
No, you don't have to. You were never all proper when we worked together. You don't need to start. Later.
How are you?
Yeah,
good to
really
see
well.
you.
It's good to see you too. How's your lockdown been?
Yeah, it's been a weird and wonderful time, I suppose. How's yours?
Yeah, it's been quite fun. I mean,
yeah, what have you been up to? Tell us all.
Well, basically, Joseph finished when this all kicked off, and I'd said I wanted to have a couple of months doing very little anyway. So I guess careful what you wish for sometimes. Didn't quite mean this much time off, but yeah. So I've just been chilling. I bought a bike. Been on lots of bike rides. Been running lots.
Nice. Does your bike have a bell?
It doesn't have a bell yet, but I'm going to get a nice solid one because it's actually illegal not to have a bell. So I think it's quite important.
Well, you live in London, right? You definitely need a bell around London.
Very busy, yeah. You need a lot of stupid pedestrians in all the cycle paths as well. So yeah, you definitely
you've
need
paused.
To... Oh no, okay.
Oh, are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh no, are you on?
Oh no, what's happened?
Hello, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can see you and I can hear you.
Oh, okay. You're just a bit frozen on my end.
Can you hear me?
So just let it go. Terrible joke. So so obviously tell everybody what your connection is obviously with Joseph, with the MD and other shows that you've been fortunate enough to work on in your career. Tell us all.
Oh, tell us all. So I was the musical director of the last leg that Andrew did. So I started in August last year, just did 6 months of it, which was great. And before that, I was on the Matilda tour for 18 months, which was great. Did Mamma Mia for a couple of years around the world. That was pretty exciting. Got a really good couple of years as well. So I went to really awesome venues and worked on Top Hat in the West End. That was quite exciting because it was a brand new West End show. So yeah, bit of a varied mix.
Do you have like a favourite show? Don't feel that you need to say Joseph.
No, not at all. That's quite a difficult question because I've really loved everything that I've done. So at the time, I always think that the show I'm currently working on is my favourite show. But I reckon on balance, probably Matilda, I'm going to have to say, because it is a special show. Sorry, are you going to, is that it? Is that the end of the talk now? I haven't said Joseph.
No, not at all. No, because even for me, I've got asked questions before, favourite shows and things like that, and it's the same thing. It is such a hard question because different things stick out for different reasons, right?
Exactly.
So where did your career start? Like in what position? Were you always an MD? Like what was the?
No, I didn't actually get into it that young. I did the traditional musical route. So I just did my piano lessons, did orchestras, went to music college, did classical piano. But I like playing in pop bands, and I knew that I was looking for something. And lots of people at music college are really set on being a concert pianist, and I never really wanted to do that. I knew that there was something else I wanted, and then I just happened to do it.
You wanted to break out. I
wanted to break out. I knew, but when you know there's something there for you, but you haven't quite found it yet.
Yeah, no, of course.
And then I did randomly got asked to do a show at Mount View by a wonderful woman called Laura Bangay, who became one of my great friends, and she knew lots of people in the industry and we got on really well, and she introduced me to lots of people, and then from there I started MDing shows in drama schools. But to begin with, I kind of felt like I was winging it a little bit, but I guess everyone does because I wasn't really...
I feel like we all do though, don't we?
Yeah, because I was, I wasn't specifically trained in it, but then I did it and kind of thought, oh yeah, I can do that. That's fun. Okay, I'll work on this. Yeah. And then after I'd done a couple of shows, I thought, yeah, this is it. This is my world now. This is what I want to do. I think I always knew I was probably destined for it because at music college I did piano accompaniment, so I worked with lots of classical singers and did lots of opera, which was great. It was really good training, but it was very stuffy and a little bit snooty. We did a song cycle concert of Schumann songs, all Lieder, so it was all very highbrow. And I just suggested to the person organising it that people could be in costume and it could be semi-staged, and he just looked at me with complete contempt. So I thought, okay, maybe this world isn't for me. Like, I'm definitely destined for musical theatre.
That's amazing. So what was your first show? Top Hat?
Top Hat wasn't my first show. That was, so just lots of shows in drama schools. And then Evita was my first proper job, professionally on tour. The Ken Ray version of Geater. They went around Europe.
Yeah.
Then did Avenue Q. And then Top Hat was the first show I did in the West End.
Oh, wow.
So that was quite special.
You've been around then.
Been around, babes. Yeah. Well,
to be fair, though, like, you are still relatively, well, you're young, I think. For someone to, to sit in the chair and to take on the shows, and, it takes a certain person, I think, to, command not only the performers, but you've got your musicians.
Yeah.
And all the aspects, you guys, like, there's a lot on your shoulders, I think.
Yeah, there is. There really is. Depends on the show too, because Joseph had a relatively small band, so it wasn't so bad. But when you've got, sometimes you've got a band of 18 to deal with, and the politics in the pit can be really difficult sometimes. Like, sometimes you get lucky, but sometimes you get clashes of really big personalities, and then you've got a lot of people management in the pit before you even deal with anything on stage. So like there's a lot.
So how many musicians are in Joseph?
5,
including you.
Yeah, so it's two keyboards, bass, guitar, and drums.
Right.
It has been at various points, but sort of how it goes.
So obviously, a lot of people like fans of Joseph, but obviously not just Joseph, but other shows and musicals and things. And it's becoming more of the norm, I suppose, that they have shows have something called a click track.
Yeah.
So tell us all more about, like, the technical side of, like, the click track and things, because some people don't realize.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have a click track for lots of different. Sorry, I've just put my teeth back in. You'd have a click track for lots of different reasons. So some shows have them just for consistency with tempo, because then it's the same every night. Everyone knows where they are. On tap shows, sometimes they have the taps recorded, so you have to have a click because you can't make enough noise with your feet. But then I guess it's becoming increasingly common to have some of the orchestra on the click track as well, which just
as I think a lot of some people, I think if a click is used in the right way, and again, this is from a performer to a musician, it can be absolutely amazing, and it can really, like, benefit any show.
Yeah.
It's when they start kind of cutting musicians for a synthy kind of sound, which I always think, oh, that's such a shame.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, it's for consistency, and especially with a show like Joseph, you couldn't just change a tempo or, fast, make an iconic song faster than what it should be, if that makes sense, because everyone would expect it to be in a certain way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes your job a lot easier as an MD sometimes as well, because we've all been there, like arguments with dance captains. It was fast tonight. No, it wasn't. It was fast. So if it's the same thing for every night.
So in Joseph, there are live moments though.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah. I guess because obviously the vocals go on click a lot as well, and I have mixed feelings about that, because I think sometimes it's important. Sometimes it enables you just to support, but then the risk is that. Well, actually, sometimes singers can get lazy. Like, not pointing the finger at you, obviously, but I think sometimes there are click tracks there when they don't need to be when they don't need to be there necessarily. So that discourages people from singing. But then at the same time,
and what I found as well using them, when, like you said, with the vocals, is that you have to be strict with it. So whatever you want as an MD. In an artistic way, you're restricted because you have to follow the click vocals. So we have to kind of copy and paste what they've done before. Yeah. Which is always difficult because you might feel it completely different to, another MD that comes in after you or before you.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I agree.
Someone's asked what inspired you to be an MD, but I think you kind of touched on that. So you can do it all again.
I can do it all again. What inspired me? I always loved playing the piano, but I knew I didn't want to be a concert pianist. And I always loved the theatre, and it just took me a little while to put two and two together. And then when I did it, it all fell into place, and I just loved it. I love inspire performers, and I love working with musicians. And even before I discovered theatre, I used to like playing in trios and quartets. I always liked making music with other people. I never really wanted to be a solo pianist.
Yeah.
So it all just made sense when I discovered that you could do it.
Someone's asked, I think it's Haley, what's the best thing about being an MD?
Ooh, what?
Well, you get the best seat in the house.
Yeah,
really,
exactly. You get to work with incredibly talented people. You get to see the show every night. For me, the best thing is just trying to inspire people. Because I think when you sit there, you know, you're trying to inspire the band, you're trying to inspire the cast, you're pulling it all together, and you get to watch it all. So, and I guess there is pressure, but there's not too much pressure at the same time. So, yeah.
I have to say, from a personal thing, you know, when the curtain went up, and I've said this to you many times, you know, been in the pub after the show, like, you know, you can be having like, you know, just a down day in general, like nothing's really done anything. And there'll be a certain point where, you know, you will catch or I will catch your eye and you won't even see, and you know, you're that person that you just thoroughly enjoy the show. That makes me, it comes onto me then, and I'm like, oh, if he's doing that in the pit, then I need to do
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's, yeah, you're very animated, I suppose is the word, in the pit, which makes it really so much nicer for us on stage.
Yeah, thanks. That's really nice to hear that, because that's the aim. I mean, I do genuinely really enjoy it, but also I'm very aware that my face is beamed all around the building. So if I'm sitting there looking like I don't care, then you can't really expect anyone else to either.
Yeah.
So I think you need to lead from the top.
Yeah, that is very true. Sinead has asked, what has been your best theatre to work in? So what's your favourite theatre? And I mean, you've been all over the world, so it might not even be somewhere in the UK. It could be.
Yeah. That's a tough question. I'm going to say maybe Dublin, actually. I've always had amazing experiences in Dublin. The audiences are just, you know, so full on.
I've never done Dublin. It was an amazing week.
They're the right kind of audience as well, because you want an animated audience, you want a responsive audience, but you also want an audience who respond appropriately. Because I've been to other theatres. I'm not gonna name names or I'll get like hated on. But I've been to other places where everyone's really, really drunk and they're screaming and they're not listening. So they're loud, but they're not loud in the right places. Whereas I just feel like, you know, Dublin, they listen in all the right places and they go mad where you want them to go mad. They're just really up for it. A really fun, up for audience. That's always been my experience. Yeah.
Have you ever done like a tour out in China?
Yeah, I spent 4 months in China.
Yeah, so a few years ago, I did, you know, we probably did many of the same theatres, but I was so amazed at the architecture and the size of all these theatres, these theatres.
Yeah.
Like puts anything, you know, that I did with Joseph to shame, because I was just like, wow, like there's a different theatre scene, isn't it? It's very modern, it's very contemporary, whereas, you know, the UK, it's a lot of history attached to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think the government just decided about 50 years ago that every big city was going to have a theatre, and they're all huge. They all look like spaceships as well, don't they? Yeah. And like you could have a football match in the wings. The scale of it is enormous.
And I always used to remember walking into the, like when you'd arrive at the stage door and you'd walk in, you'd sign in, and then you'd just go on this epic walk throughout this, you know, whatever building you were in, and then you'd be like, where on earth is the dressing room? Where's the stage? How do I get there? It was just a maze. Yeah,
completely. I'm not sure the audience is really, because I was there with Ghost, and
that's an amazing show.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. I'm not sure the audience really. I'm not sure how well it translated through the subtitles, but yeah, it was a great experience, and I really loved working there. And plus, we went to Wuhan.
Pardon?
We went to Wuhan too. So you know.
Yes, I went to Wuhan. Yeah, I went to Wuhan. Oh dear. Yeah, that was many moons ago. Absolutely. Sorry, I'm just reading these. Some questions.
Have I played in the Albert Hall? I just saw.
Yeah, that's the bottom. I was about to read that.
Do you want me to answer it, or do you want to ask you another?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I have, but not with a musical. My graduation ceremony was in the Albert Hall when I was a student, and
where did you go? Where?
I went to Trinity. Well, I went to Kingston University and Trinity College of Music, but my Kingston University graduation ceremony was there, and I used to play gamelan, which is a big Indonesian percussion ensemble. It's really random, but I just ended up doing it and loved it. And I did a gamelan performance in the Royal Albert Hall.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's still somewhere I need to tick off.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I have a question then, just leading on to that one. So is there a venue or a stage that you desire to perform on? Like to us, like, you know, as a performer, we have certain places in the UK or around the world that we would love to stand on stage and perform to. So for your musician, do you have the same
Yeah. Sorry. My boyfriend was just trying to make faces at me there. Sorry. Where would I like to perform?
Hi, Simon.
Yeah. I'd love to work at the National Theatre, but just because it's so iconic, and I guess I'd love to do something with a full orchestra as well, or because sometimes, you know, when you do a musical, the most you ever get is 15 or 16. I guess a one-off concert at the Albert Hall, like a one-nighter where you get an orchestra of, well, a full-size orchestra of 50 or 60 would be a dream. Yeah, I'd love to, at some point in my life, conduct West Side Story with a full orchestra, which isn't that easy to do, but that's one of my favourite shows, and yeah, that would definitely be a big bucket list thing.
So is there any artists, dead or alive, that you would love to, you know, play for? Or
oh wow,
I mean, you've already played for me, so
yeah,
you know.
I was going to say, it's only downhill after that, isn't it?
Right.
Ooh.
Once you played for the King, you know.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing else. Oh, dead or alive? Oh, who would I bring back from the dead? Maybe. Who's yours? Tell me who yours is, and I'll think about it for a couple.
Have I stumbled you?
Yeah, a little bit. Only because there's just so many. It's quite hard to pick one. Can I come back to that question?
And you said West Side was one of your favourite shows.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
So is there any other show that you aspire to kind of, like, you know, play for, or get, you know, to jump in the chair? And
I'd love to do The Last 5 Years, actually, because it's just a brilliant show, and it's an amazing piano part, and it's a really hard piano part.
I was about to say that's a difficult show.
Yeah, but it's because my background was kind of in chamber music, so the way it's orchestrated like a chamber ensemble, there's 6 or 7, I think, in the band, and it's got a violin and a cello, so it's really lovely music to play. It's a really nice mix of styles. So yeah, I'd like to do that, definitely.
Jordan's asked, so what are your plans after lockdown? What, you know, have you got anything in the pipeline?
No, I haven't actually. So, I mean, there was something maybe in the pipeline, but that all got put on hold. So, I mean, who knows?
Can you tell us?
No, I can't tell you.
I thought we might get like a
first
kind of thing.
I mean, everything.
Do you need any male singers?
Yeah.
I know a few. You see, I know a few.
Yeah. Do you know anyone you can? No, actually, I'm not going to say that because that's mean.
So you've got nothing coming up, nothing in the pipeline.
Well, no, not really.
Do you get involved in like panto or, you know, any Christmas shows? Because I know a lot of musicals do stop over the Christmas period, like, you know, disregard lockdown. And you know, I know our Keys 2 player goes off and does panto and things like that. Like, is it the same for you? Is it something that you've done or you've never done?
I haven't done a panto. Actually, no, I did one panto. Not because I wouldn't like to, but most of the tours that I've done or the shows that I've been working on have gone over Christmas. So I just haven't been able. But yeah, I would love to do a panto. So, like, if anyone needs a panto in the London area, then yeah, 100% up for it. Just
You've heard it here first.
Shameless
He's free.
Yeah, I mean, does it look like pantos are going to happen?
I think knowing what you're like in the pit for Joseph, I think you would absolutely love a panto.
No, I would. Like, I 100% would have a brilliant time. I know I would. Yeah, I guess. Do you think the pantos are going to happen this year?
I don't know. I mean, I know you know I'm in Liverpool, and I know a lot of people know I'm in Liverpool. And I work really closely with a theatre just down the road from me. And again, it's all up in the air. And I think maybe do you remember when we entered lockdown, or just before, and they were slowly closing things down? And they were saying, you know, if you were a venue of 500 people or less, you could remain open or what. I think maybe it might come down to something like that. Like, I really don't know. I think it's going to be a very case by case.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I think it's.
But I think because of the worry for theatre and especially any live entertainment, I think there's such a huge concern and worry over it at the moment that I think they will definitely try and push for it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Pantos might be a bit easier than big musicals too, because you can, well, for a start, you can do more shows a week, or there's a precedent of doing more shows a week. So you can do the social distancing more if you have to.
My concern from a performer point of view, though, is, you know, obviously people are, you know, I've seen things online and people are sharing from other countries of like a theatre audience setup, but then the performers would obviously have to social distance on stage, right?
yeah. I know there's a lot still needs to be worked out.
You know, unless you locked the cast away together and you know you live together for a horrible panto period, but that's never going to happen.
It's been suggested.
But, you know, it's just going to be, you know, it's an interesting time, and I just think it's such a challenge, but it's going to be a great challenge because just to see what people come up with. Because again, you know, we're creative people. You know, we're in this creative industry, and these things are set to try us, and it won't fail. Like we won't, you know, we will beat it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course we will. Of course we will. It'll be wonderful times again.
So I'm just scrolling up so I don't miss anything. James, what was the first musical you ever saw?
Cats. It was Cats. Yeah.
I've never seen Cats.
Oh, it was great. I mean, it makes no sense, but the music's really fun and the dancing's brilliant. I think if you, and that's why when people were slating the movie and they were saying, "Oh, there's no storyline," I was thinking, what do you expect? That's just what Cats is. It's, you know.
Yeah.
So it's got a special place in my heart because it was the first show that I saw at the Mayflower Theatre in Southampton, where I grew up. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading. Remember, everyone, if you want to donate, you can donate using the justgiving.com/fundraiser/Joseph Concert. It's not even there, and I think I've just remembered that. What, from Joseph, what was your favourite number to direct? That's my question.
Okay, that's interesting. Probably... a few I really liked. I really liked Go Go Joseph because that had quite a lot of speed changes in it, and it was quite a long number, and there were some nice builds. And you actually had to.
What, the end of Act 1 or
the end of Act 1.
The mega mix? Right.
Yeah, the end of Act 1 was good. I like Canaan Days sometimes because it was quite nice. Because like going back to what you said about click tracks, some of it just happens. So there were moments of the show where I didn't have to do anything, and there were other moments where I actually had to really lead and conduct.
Yeah.
So they're more satisfying to do as a conductor because you actually have to think about what you're doing and direct. So yeah, probably Go Go Joseph and Canaan Days.
I used to like again, you know, when the brothers were on it, we were on it. Each of the brothers fell to their knees. That bit, because if I'm right in thinking, that's unaccompanied as well. That's no music, so it's just us, and it's all live. There's no click vocals. There's nothing.
All live. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I used to like that. I used to pretend I was conducting in a big chapel.
You could just tell that, you know, because we knew that it was unaccompanied and we all had to have you in our eye line, you know, you could tell all of us just switched on.
Yeah.
You know, we were all switched on anyway, but, you know, even more so at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And
because you know you are so exposed, and I like, especially for me, I think I had Paul on my right who played Ruben, who was on like the low harmony, and then I had someone else on a different hand, and there's me, and I'm like, just hold this note.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's fun.
You were always very good. You're always watching me. I could tell.
But I was lucky. I was one of the few, because obviously we were in a horseshoe, right? So I had you on the television and kind of in my peripheral down in the pit. Well, sometimes if you were in the pit, you know, but I had you clear as day on the screen, so I could really get in on the timing. Whereas I think Mikey was on the end, and he always said he struggled because he couldn't. You know, he was looking at whoever he was opposite, and he couldn't really see you, so he had to go off other people. So it, you know, stuff like that is really difficult. You have to trust each other, I think, on stage, and trust, obviously, you know, be led by you.
Yeah, yeah.
And trust that, you know, we do what you do, and if you go wrong, it's on your head, not us.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, you're right. Yeah, and those moments are much more satisfying, aren't they? Because you're actually living in the moment and you're listening and reacting in the moment, rather than just doing, you know, what you do every day on autopilot. Which, you know, when you're doing 10 shows a week, obviously that happens sometimes, but the moments where you know you have to be on it and click in are much more fun, I think. So,
Mr. Michael Still, before you go, I thought of how to like wrap things up. So obviously I know you've got a lot of things to do on your lovely Friday evening.
So busy at the moment.
So flat out.
I thought,
honestly, would you like to play? Would you like to play a game of Would You Rather?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, they're all clean. They're all nice ones. They're no dodgy ones. Okay, would you rather be constantly itchy or constantly sticky?
What make you sticky?
Oh, he's broken up. We'll never get the answer. What did you say?
I said
itchy or sticky?
I said. What would I be sticky with?
It does. It's just open. It's open.
Just general stickiness. I'd rather be sticky, I think.
You'd rather be sticky.
Wouldn't you?
With me?
Wouldn't you rather be sticky than itchy?
I don't know. I think I'd rather be itchy.
Would you?
Because I'm quite good when I've got an itch. I don't itch it, if that makes sense. Like, because I feel like it's mind over matter. Once you start itching, then you just can't stop.
Okay.
Okay. Where's this other one? Right. Would you rather wear someone else's dirty underwear or use their toothbrush?
Probably dirty underwear. Ooh. Probably their dirty underwear, I think. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to say.
Dirty underwear?
Yeah.
See, I answered this one, and I think I would say dirty underwear, just because at least then, wherever you're going, you can go and have a shower and wash and feel clean. Yeah. Whereas if you use their toothbrush, I feel like no matter how much you use your own toothbrush, you still wouldn't feel clean, right?
You'd still know that you'd,
Well, there you go. That was painless,
wasn't it?
Thank you.
That was really painless. I've had a lovely time. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming along and joining us.
No, it's been an absolute delight. Who have you got next?
Right.
You've got Mikey J. Heath up next.
I've got Mikey J. Heath coming up next, yeah.
I hope he behaves himself.
I think I'm going to do it at 8:30. So before you go, so everyone, Mikey and me will have a chat in about 15 minutes time at 8:30. 8:30. So again, you can go and restock your drink, and then you can come back and join us with my little Irish friend. But for now, Mr. Steele, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Hopefully
and when all the madness is over.
Yeah, me too. All right.
Love you lots, man.
Love you lots.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.